Miss Scroll was made in China, so trust me, I know how they think. The alarming message behind the Harvard incident, how the Chinese Communist Party is quietly infiltrating US universities. A bombshell that shook higher education. In May 2025, the US government made a stunning accusation. Harvard University was coordinating with the Chinese Communist Party on campus. This politically charged claim came from the Department of the Homeland Security, which soon took unprecedented action, revoking Harvard's certification to enroll new international students under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program. The DHS also cited recent campus violence and anti-Semitism. But it was the Chinese government connection that sent shockwaves through higher education. This was not just a punishment for a single university. It was a wake-up call all about national security and ideological infiltration. Part 1. What did Harvard do? What do the government's allegations mean? Key points from the official statement. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem stated that Harvard was accused of aiding or enabling Chinese Communist Party activities on its campus. Though details were vague, the language raised widespread concern about foreign influence in American higher education. The statement also noted Harvard tolerated campus violence and anti-Semitic behavior. The university ignored repeated warnings. It violated federal laws, leading to SEVP decertification. Why is coordination with the Chinese Communist Party so serious? If Harvard truly collaborated with the Chinese Communist Party, it would mean one of America's top academic institutions had become more than just a place for learning. It could be a battlefield for geopolitical influence. When foreign powers infiltrate universities, they can influence young minds with propaganda, gain access to sensitive research and technologies. Part 2. How the Chinese Communist Party infiltrates US universities. Did you hear about the Confucius Institutes, culture exchange, or Trojan horse? Since 2004, China has established hundreds of Confucius Institutes worldwide, claiming to promote language and culture. However, US officials and scholars have long warned of deeper problems. Course content is controlled by Beijing and avoids sensitive topics. Taiwan, Tibet, Tiananmen Square. Teachers are selected based on political loyalty and are censored. Chinese funding is used to buy influence over curriculum and campus activities. Institutes may surveil students or influence campus groups. Example, in 2019, the US State Department labeled the Confucius Institute headquarters foreign mission. By 2023, over 60 US universities had shut them down. It means that the US sees them as official representatives of the Chinese government, not just cultural exchange programs. The 1,000 Talents Plan, recruiting scientists, studying technology. Launched in 2008, China's 1,000 Talents Plan seeks to recruit overseas scientists, especially Chinese Americans, with lucrative contracts. The problems include many researchers didn't disclose these affiliations to their US institutions. The program enabled the transfer to cutting-edge US research to China. Some research had potential military applications. Example, Lieber was chair of Harvard's Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology, a world-renowned nanotechnology expert, and the recipient of millions in US defense research grants. Secretly, he also signed a contract with the Wuhan University of Technology, a participant in China's 1,000 Talents Plan. His deal with China included $50,000 per month in living expenses, $150,000 per year in research funds, a dedicated lab in Wuhan, a promise to spend at least 2 months in China annually. Lieber never disclosed this to Harvard or to federal funders like the National Institutes of Health. In 2021, he was convicted on 6 felony counts, including making false statements, failing to report foreign bank accounts, and tax fraud. What China gained from Lieber? Lieber's research focused on the nanowires, using everything from the military sensors and the biomedical implants to next-generation microchips. By partnering with him, China didn't just gain prestige. It jump-started its own nanotech programs and shortened its timeline to surpass the West in critical areas like semiconductor innovation, biotech and pharmaceuticals, military grants, materials, and stealth tech. In short, Lieber's knowledge helped China leap ahead on America's dime. Students as academic spies, a gray zone of national security. China sends over 300,000 students to the US. Annually, most are genuine scholars, but the FBI has warned that the small military are collecting advanced technical data, photographing lab setups, reproducing sensitive devices, reporting on political views and campus activism. Examples: in 2020, a visiting scholar with a Chinese military background was arrested after hiding in the Chinese consulate in San Francisco. Multiple researchers were prosecuted for sending military-use technologies to China. Donations and soft control, buying silence. The Chinese Communist Party often channels money to US university through Chinese companies or wealthy donors, using philanthropy to fund buildings or name professorships, influence research agendas, suppress criticism of China. Example: a 2019 Wall Street Journal investigation found that Harvard and Yale failed to report hundreds of millions in foreign donations, including from China and the Middle Eastern countries, prompting a congressional probe. Part 3: Why Harvard is at the center. Prestige equals strategic value. Harvard is more than a university, it's a breeding ground for future presidents, diplomats, and tech leaders. That makes it a strategic high ground in the global competition for influence, globalization, and its hidden risks. Harvard has long embraced global partnership, welcoming international students, researchers, and donations. But this openness can become a vulnerability when collaborations comes with strings attached. Examples: Harvard has offered joint courses with Chinese universities. Some departments have received sponsorship from Chinese companies or individuals. Chinese Students and Scholars Association is very active on campus and reportedly maintains ties with the Chinese consulate. Part 4: Why every American should care. Because education is a national security issue. Universities don't just shape careers, they shape the future of the nation. If foreign regimes subtly take control of academic spaces, it puts Americans' value, innovation, and security at risk. So real-life risk: if a university develops groundbreaking AI and the research is quietly transferred to China's military, the US could instantly lose its technological edge. Your tax dollars are involved. Many top research universities get billions in federal grants. Harvard receives hundreds of millions annually. If they accept this money while tolerating foreign infiltration, that's a betrayal of taxpayers and the national interest. Classrooms are becoming ideological battlegrounds. Students have reported increasing self-censorship and reluctance by faculty to criticize China. Even discussion about free speech now seem to echo authoritarian taking points. American campuses must not become breeding grounds for totalitarian ideology. Part 5: How to push back against the Chinese Communist Party infiltration. Government actions. Enforce transparency law on foreign donation, such as the Foreign Influence Transparency Act. Require universities to disclose all foreign government partnerships. Strengthen collaboration between the FBI and the universities for early warning systems. University actions set up independent review boards for international collaborations, ban undisclosed foreign government funding, closely monitor and regulate organizations like Confucius Institutes. Public actions demand financial transparency from universities, help students recognize Chinese Communist Party influence tactics, support legislation restricting foreign funding in education. Conclusion: Harvard is the first alarm, but it must not be the last. The Harvard incident is not isolated. It's a symptom of what happened when top institutions ignore foreign infiltration for too long. The Chinese Communist Party is using every legal and illegal method to expand its reach, and American universities are among its top targets. This is not just about education, it's about national security, intellectual freedom, and the future of democratic society. Harvard is only the beginning. We must no longer turn a blind eye. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think.